All right, welcome back to another episode of Sunny Days at the Racetrack. It has been a hot minute and a lot
Mhm.
has happened. How you
Yep.
doing, brother?
Good man, good. Whole new team it feels like.
Yeah, right. Just one missing
Right?
player.
One change.
Some things are gonna have to start changing. I'm assuming. I think this is just step number one in this retooling process
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Lou
He
was
said in
talking
the
about.
summer. So the summer's gonna be a whole different thing going on.
Yeah. I mean, I know that a lot of people were surprised that Palmieri didn't go. I was actually surprised too. I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna end up going too.
I thought it was
Um,
gonna be Palms, definitely.
Yeah, I thought it
But
was going
it's
to be the two of them, and that's something we talked about too for a while. They're probably the two most um, improved, or not even improved, but the two most consistent guys we've had all season,
mhm.
and they add so much value to a lot of teams right now, especially in the short term. So,
Yeah,
very surprised that they both didn't go. But Nelson, I mean, if he
yeah.
wasn't going, then nobody was going.
It's hard to resign a guy, he's 33 years old now. I don't know what
Yeah,
contract they want to really give him. But I mean he's good for the Avalanche. They're gonna make I think they're first seed right now in their division. So they're making a good playoff push.
yeah. I mean, he jumped right into their second line. I think they move Middlestat either to the wing or they moved him to the third line.
Mm.
But I know there've been complaints about Middlestat because he was from Buffalo, and he came over in that trade. I forgot who the fuck they traded. It was a
They
defenseman.
traded a lot, Avalanche.
Yeah, so they
They added 4 guys to their team.
yeah, so I mean they're obviously going on a run.
Yeah,
They're
no, they're
making
gonna
that
go on
pretty
their
clear.
tear.
Yeah, and Nelson is a amazing ad for them. I know that um, Lou was talking about the extension and stuff, talking about a possible extension with him and how they were in talks and all that stuff because he was in San Jose and they were asking him all these questions about it, and
Yeah,
it just seemed like they just couldn't get to it. And I appreciate him not coming and saying like, "Is it the money or is it the years?" Because somebody asked him that, and he just
mm,
said, "I'm not going to disclose that information because there's no point in doing that because then it can make anybody look bad, either the
yeah.
team or him."
I don't think there's
So
no bad blood. I mean, it was
yeah,
pretty inevitable. You
it's
can't take
business.
you can't take that risk though. Not working on if you're not gonna get a signing going, then it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Something's got to happen. And we got a great trade off for that.
Oh yeah.
Calum Ritchie, and we have three draft picks. One 2026 to 2027 and a 2028. Two of them are first rounders though. I think the 26 and
I
27 ones.
I think we
It's a
just
conditional 2026 though.
yeah, I think we got a 2026 and a 2028. The third round is 2028, but I think they're
Mm.
both
And they're
conditional.
taking 50% of his salary.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes sense
Yeah.
because his cap is pretty high. I mean, right now everyone's pretty tight, so it makes sense to just hold on to half for right now, make it work to get the draft picks.
Yeah.
But Ricci is a guy
Hey,
that was
he's
their
a
top
number one
prospect.
prospect. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely worth it. He also plays center, so that's nice that we're filling in
Because we have a
another
lot of
center for
wingers.
the. Yeah, we have a lot of centers, but it's nice to have a young center that's coming down the pike because
Yeah.
eventually these centers are going to age out. Um, 'Cause
Even
most,
now, it adds a little depth to our prospects too, which is nice.
yeah, the
Him
kid is
and
good.
Iserman and Jeffries. So there's a few more guys that we
Yeah,
have. So I think he's going to stay in the minors for the rest of the season because it's past the trade deadline. But I'm sure we'll see him in preseason
yeah,
this coming August or whatever September.
yeah. He's playing well in the OHL. I think he's
Yeah.
with the Oshawa Generals or
Yep.
whatever the team.
Hmm.
But then we also lost William Dufour, which I know that everyone was really excited, especially with his first season with Bridgeport. He got 48 points. He was
Yeah.
playing really well. So he's obviously taken a step back as the years have gone on. Bridgeport is really bad, but still, it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of players that still shine with shitty teams, and he's just not. So it kind of makes sense.
You got to give a little bit. I mean, like I said, like even though we did lose Dufour, having that like breath of fresh air, like at least like the Nelson trade is done with, and we did pretty well with it. I really have like
Yeah.
having a young guy, a young talent. So
Yeah, and
and
the
I think
draft picks are
that
great.
was their best prospect. So for them to give us, I mean, I guess they're pretty desperate in need for something.
Yeah. I mean, Nelson is
Even
definitely a guy.
Florida traded for Marchand. I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, crazy trade
Really
right
crazy,
there.
yeah, man. Really
Um,
nuts that they got Marchand.
and what's crazy too is that right after that trade happened, both teams shut out their opponent. It's like crazy, you
Yeah.
know.
Boston's really struggling too. So I mean, like I said, I mean he's been out in Boston I think 16 or 17 years. So like I said, it's another age thing. It's hard to pay a guy like that, but Yeah, they moved on from it. I mean, they got Pasternak still. I mean, they definitely have some talent, but
Yeah.
just a year. I mean, especially in the net, they're struggling with the net.
Yeah.
Crazy because the past couple of years, that was like their focal point.
Yeah. No more Olmark.
They did like four or five guys.
Yeah.
You know, I was surprised. I didn't know that until I was watching the game last night.
Yeah, it's there's a lot that's moved around. Even Josh Norris, I know, went to
They kept
Buffalo.
Celebrini though.
Yeah, so there's a lot of moves with a lot of teams, which we were expecting.
Yeah.
But some pretty big moves, and Brad Marchand and Brock Nelson, probably the two biggest, I would say. The Marchand one, I mean, I know they were talking about that kind of early on, like, you know, are we going to even be able to re-sign him? Like, what is he looking for? Because he still plays at a high level, and he's going to ask for a lot of money.
He's great on the power play kill,
Yeah.
power play and the kill.
So
he's
having
physical.
Yeah. I mean, he's a fucking dirty bastard, but you gotta love him when he's on your team.
Yeah.
And Nelson, I mean, is great.
I'm
He can
surprised we
play
didn't trade
everywhere,
for. I'm surprised we didn't trade any defensemen, man. We have 7 defensemen now.
That's another thing. I'm surprised we didn't do that either.
I thought Boquist or D'Angelo were going to go. I really was like, I thought, because we just signed them just because of our injuries. Yeah. And now we have 7 defensemen. So.
For like a mid-round pick, I'm surprised we didn't get maybe like a 4th round, you know, 3rd round pick.
Yeah, no, I was surprised.
For
but
one of those guys, because they're cheap too. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't costing anybody anything.
No. And we grabbed freaking D'Angelo from like the KHL or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I mean the lines are totally different. I think tonight they're gonna have, what was it, Palmieri? Who's on the first? Palmieri, Horvat, and Duclair. And then
that was the same as last game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second
line is like the fourth line's like Fashing, and I don't know who else is on it.
So they got the second line is Holstrom, Pajot,
and Lee,
and then the third line is Cizikas, Fashing, and who's on the fucking wing? Who's on the wing? Come on, Mark. Who's on the wing?
Cizikas, Fashing.
Because I know the fourth line is Gatcombe.
Gatcombe's on the fourth.
Sipakov.
Oh yeah, but fourth line, I think tonight they're putting Fashing on.
They're putting Fashing on the fourth line.
That's what I saw. They could change it, and then they're saying Hogwarts day to day.
Okay, yeah, because is Skarek definitely playing, or because
Skarek was in yesterday?
No, Sorokin was in yesterday.
Sorokin was in, but Skarek was on the bench.
No, is Skarek playing tonight? I'm saying, is he playing?
Because
Sorokin had a busy night. I mean, by the time we got one shot, San Jose had 17. It was insanely one-sided.
I think he had 38 saves.
Yeah, he had 38 saves. He had a busy night. It's back-to-back.
And with the hour I think they're putting Hogberg in.
Hogberg is healthy enough to play? Fuck yeah, I hope so.
That's what
I hope so.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be great. He was day-to-day. They're saying Barzy might not come back for the season, though.
Where'd you see that?
Like all over.
Really? I didn't see that. No.
Barzy and Varlamov might not come back for the season.
Well, Varley, I'm not surprised because Islanders unsure if Barzal can return before end of season. Fuck. Yeah. Well, the thing with that is I know that he got like a minor surgery. So
yeah. Hogberg is in that.
So that's great because we definitely needed some help. Skarek didn't play horrible, but he's obviously not that great.
Played one game, maybe.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like that wasn't all him when he was giving up goals. But he definitely does not look like the calm, cool collectiveness that Hogberg brings to the net. He definitely does not have.
Definitely one of the better signings we have. I was really surprised by him.
It'll definitely be nice to have somebody there that can give Sorokin a break. But yeah, going off of we were talking about the defensemen. The pairings are all, even with Dobson back.
They're different. Dobson and Pellick are now together, and then Riley's back, I forgot to say.
Riley, yeah, he's cleared long-term injury reserve, but I don't know if he's coming back to play this season. He didn't get like a timeline of like when it's going to happen, but it seems like everything that went with his heart is good.
I think it's Romy and Pulak, Dobby and Pellick, and it's Romy and D'Angelo.
And D'Angelo.
And it's Pellick and Dobson, and then it's Pulak and who am I blanking on? Boquist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm surprised by the parents. I thought it was going to be Pulak and Pellick like usual, and Romy and Dobson, and then maybe, but I don't know.
Well, that's the thing that actually I know that Butch Goring, I think, said it. Or maybe it was I was like watching the game and then also going and listening to it on the radio when I left the room.
Oh, last night San Jose?
Last night San Jose, yeah. And they were talking about D'Angelo and Romy together, and they look smooth. I mean, their communication level is insane. But at the
Roman's
same
really
time,
good,
people
man.
were saying, like, is it Romy that he's making D'Angelo look good, or is D'Angelo able to keep up with Romy? Like, what's? But I think no matter where you put Romy, and I do agree because I think they were saying that no matter where you put Romy, he's going to play really well, and he's going to make whoever his partner is look really well too.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
Dobson
that is
obviously,
kind of good to have Dobson on a different pairing.
yeah.
I feel like Dobson can hold his own. I know he went through a little bit of a rough patch at the end of the last season, but
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because after going through such a strong season, a 70 over 70 point
70s,
season,
yeah.
and then to come to this, it sucks, and then being hurt and all that. But I mean, D'Angelo, as much as he's a fucking asshole and I don't like him, he has a lot of skill on the ice. And even watching the game, like on the power play, or even just when we had some,
Oh my! When
like,
we had the overtime with when Horvat scored that overtime,
yeah,
stuff like that. It's just heads up plays, man.
yeah, he knows what to do when he's 1-on-1, or if he's trying to break through the over the blue line and get past the
Yeah.
defense. Like, he knows exactly what he needs to do. There's no hesitation in his game. I like that, but he has that natural skill. But I always worry about what's going to happen in the locker room. I'm just hoping with
I feel like the
the
locker
team
room
we
might be a
are.
little different this year because I think he's definitely humbled. You know what I mean? No one
Yeah,
picked him up. You know, he was overseas. You know, making
yeah,
probably not that well, and then he got picked up by us, a team
yeah,
that was last in their division.
yeah,
You know, definitely a little bit of humble beginnings again.
yeah.
So I feel like if there is a locker room issue, then shame on him because like
Exactly,
no one else took a chance on him.
exactly.
You know what I
And
mean? And we
he's
didn't have to sign him. Like we
no,
didn't have to. We
no,
could just tanked it.
yeah.
You know, we could
I
like
mean,
brought up a guy from Bridgeport or something that's could have tanked it, and that's it. It is what it is. But
yeah,
we did.
yeah.
You know,
And it was a pretty slick move by Lou. I mean, considering his ability on the ice, it's not Dobson, but he moves really well. So it's nice to see somebody like that that can kind of quarterback a power play. But yeah, I mean, the way he's been moving, and he looked great last night. So, but Romanov always looks good, and I've been talking about that all
he's
season, even last
probably
season.
he's probably one of my favorite guys in the team, man.
Yeah, he's got to be the best defenseman this season.
Yeah,
Right now, and he had a monster season last year too. So it's nice to see him continue to just cement himself as that elite guy that we've been saying that he's going to be, and I think he is, in my mind. So it's nice to see that. Anybody that you play with that makes everybody else look good around you, then
he's always nice to have. Yeah.
yeah. So
Definitely that, and that comes with like Horvat too, man. Like he really dragged that line yesterday with Duclair, and Duclair
Yeah.
scored. Like you know what I mean? Like Duclair's been struggling all season, and he put one pass in that last night, which was nice.
yeah,
I feel like Horvat has that, and so did Nelson with the second line. There's just those guys like that just make everybody else look well.
yeah.
And we'll see it again tonight. But Lee, that's a good line. Like with Lee now on the second, like Lee at least having a great year.
Oh
Something
yeah,
I didn't expect. So even though with Nelson gone, maybe Lee could somewhat fill that gap. Palmieri's a shooter; he's going to play the puck. So we'll
listen,
see. I mean, we're playing the Ducks tonight.
yeah.
I'm not. I mean, whatever the outcome this season is going to be, I'm not going to be upset with. We had to handle business with Nelson, and that's our leading point scorer and our goal scorer. So it's tough to part ways. And I mean, 12 years, 13 years,
Yeah,
a lot of years.
It's a long time.
So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying the decision needed to be made. We have to kind of like
And it's
decide
harder
where
to
we
sign
want to.
him, man.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because say the guy wanted 3 more years. He's going to retire at almost 36, 37 years old, and I'm assuming it would have been for at least $3 million a year, which is like nuts. I mean, he's making 6 now, so it's like even if you want to cut it in half, that's going to be a big ask for him. But like, it's because he's still producing at such a high level, he's not going to settle. And I don't blame him. I get it.
No, it's
but
just
like,
tough
if you really want to stay, then you got to have to make compromises. So
it's tough.
It's business.
He is doing so well. It's just what's going to happen in 2 years. Like
exactly.
And like everybody knows that. Everybody knows that in the hockey world, and that's with any sport. It's tough, but you sell high. We sell high. We did great. I think we made great off that trade.
No, yeah, dude. I
taking half his salary, then we're getting their number one prospect that could play, that's able to play for us next year. I think that's great.
Yeah, and then we finally
like aging team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've been talking about it all season, and to have, some adds to the prospect, like to the draft pick pool. It's nice to
Yeah.
have picks
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean? So then we can kind of make some moves on these guys. And you know, Lou did say in an interview too that he doesn't want to do the whole rebuild because a rebuild now is scrap the whole team and start over. Like I get that. We don't
Yeah.
want to do that because we still have some good pieces.
I
like
mean,
we
you
just
still
talked
got
about.
some young guys, bro. I mean, you got Gakholm on that fourth. You
He's a
just
big
signed-
surprise, man. I mean, he's fucking
Mhm,
killing
he's
it. He's
good,
really
man.
earned a spot. All
He's
grit.
good. He's got some groove going on. And then, like I said, I'll start with the fourth line. You have Gakholm, who's young talent. We saw a lot out of him so far this year with the opportunities we gave him. We just signed Engvall. So, I mean, we kind of can't give up on the kid yet. We just signed him for 4 years. I mean, and you got Bo and you got Barzy. Like, there is potential. And you have Soplakov, who just got out this past summer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not too old, but there is some older parts, It's slowly going away. There's no more Cal. Martin's going to be done. Nelson's gone. The only one that's really left is Zizekas.
Yeah.
Sorokin's still he's fine. He's in good age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not like Rick DiPietro in 2013. Like he's all right.
Yeah. No, he's good. Sorokin I'm not worried about.
No,
especially
I'm worried
with
about
this
Varley.
season.
I know what we're going to do with him.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think? I mean,
depending on
left in his contract.
I don't even know what's really going on. I mean, I thought he was making progress, and then it took a step back. So, like, who knows what the extent of that injury is? Maybe we'll see more of it at the end of the season. No, me too. So. But Hogberg is also a cheap option as a backup, which we should have because Varlamov is a more expensive option.
He's a guy that other teams were eyeing in the offseason.
Yeah,
but then you have next year. Now next year you're gonna have JPG on with his contract. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I really like him.
It really sucks. But the one thing I do have to say, last night especially, I mean, he's a guy that steps up whenever you need him.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
2 assists and a goal and 2 assists. He had a great fucking night last night.
That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like he's a guy that we could sign for cheap. I don't see him asking for a lot.
Yeah.
He's not like the guy that's producing a 30-goal season. He's a good second liner good second or third liner. I feel like that's a guy that we could and should re-sign.
Yeah.
It's
nice to see him on the second line too, because when we first got him, I thought
he's played majority of his career in the third line with us.
Yeah, but he was a first liner in Ottawa, and he was their captain. So
he was their captain.
So and he got a lot of minutes. And when he first came to the team, I'm like, all right, Nelson's moving down. And at that time, it would have made sense. But Nelson obviously picked up his game, and he's gotten better as he's gotten older.
It's 2 years he picked up his game.
Yeah, so
tremendously.
Exactly. So having,
I guess you saw parts. You saw JT go, and you saw no more Andrew Ladd, and all those guys leave. Man, he took it over.
Yeah. So and seeing him finally get a chance to play on that second line and get some more minutes with some.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been playing a lot with Holmstrom, so the lines are almost the same because we do have now Palmieri moving up. That second line that we had is gone, so he's pretty much playing with the same players. It's just he's getting more minutes, and now he's getting power play time, which is nice.
He's good on the power play.
It's really, really good to see.
Sorokin took a beating last night, man.
Yeah, lots of fucking shots, especially against a shitty team. We can't be letting that happen. Luckily, once we started,
young though, man. They're young.
Yeah,
but they're young.
Georgiev is awful. He is god awful. So thank God we were able to to kind of get the ball rolling on him, because once we started scoring, that was it. I mean, every time we scored on him after the second goal, you could see the frustration.
I think they had 2 power play goals.
2 power play goals. Yeah.
They scored one. I think they scored. Did they score 2 power? No,
they scored
just
one.
Yeah, it was their second goal. Yeah, it was until 1:30 last night, I think, or 1 o'clock in the morning. I was watching it.
Yeah.
Late fucking game. I think it was 1.
Yeah, then with the time change,
by
the time
God.
2 o'clock rolled around, I was like, it's 3. I'm like, no.
Yes, that's what it was. I was like, what the?
Yeah. Fucking sucked. Probably didn't help with the sleep. But, yeah, I mean.
Dude, I don't know what to think. I mean, we're 3 points out of it.
We're 3 points out. Every player right now on the team said they obviously want to push, and they're in the hunt, and I get it. You don't want to just say tank, because this move technically wasn't a tanking move. You know what I mean? It's like if we fucking cleaned house, and got rid of 3 key.
We got rid of one guy, and we're getting rid of this one guy. Is like all of our lines are all changed, and I'm okay with it. I like Gakholm. I'm excited to watch him tonight again.
He's a guy that I'm hoping doesn't turn out to be like a Fasching, that we really like Fasching when he came onto the team, and he had a strong season.
Fasching and Duclair are going to be in the hot seat. I don't think Watt likes him at all. And Watt said flat out last week, I forgot what game it was, that Duclair is Not doing too good.
Well, him and Saplakov both got benched. So
Anibal too. Anibal's been getting benched.
yeah,
they need. I know, but that's the guy we just signed. It's just annoying with that.
That's a guy that we've signed. We didn't just sign. I mean, he's unfortunately signed for a long time. That's the only thing.
What sucks.
So I mean, unless you just dump him in the AHL, which you can do, but we don't have a lot of options. So when we get some of these picks, see what happens. Maybe we draft some.
And you also have next year too, man. I mean,
he's not going anywhere right now unless he completely decides to stop playing. So
yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
For our sake, I hope we miss the playoffs.
Because we can't. We're pretty much going to be locked in on a wild card 2 spot. We're not going to be able to budge anywhere.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think more.
Did the Rangers do any moves?
Yes. The Rangers. Besides, they got JT Miller before the deadline.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
I'll tell you right now, I don't know for sure off the top of my head. There was a lot of different transactions. They traded Riley Smith. That's what happened. They traded Riley Smith to Vegas. And they got Brendan Brisson and a 3rd-round pick. So, but that's it. They didn't do anything else. Other than that, they activated Kreider because I know there was talk of potentially getting rid of Kreider. I don't know if you heard about that, but they were looking to get rid of him. But
he's like a dinosaur, bro.
It's crazy, man. I remember when he first came onto the team, and people were like, Chris Kreider's the fucking man. Fuck JT. And I'm like, fuck you guys. And now it's like, shit, like he's old now. What the fuck happened? He's not even that old, but still. Yeah, I mean, this is a point where I think it still remains the same. If these guys, for their morale, that's what it kind of seemed like what Lou was kind of hinting at. If for their morale, instead of just destroying it and saying, all right, we're rebuilding or we're retooling or we're tanking the rest of the season, he's just saying, just play. If we make playoffs, we make playoffs. We don't, we don't. This move kind of indicates that because I don't know whether or not Palmieri, because I know Palmieri really doesn't want to go, and I get it, but I mean, I'm just hoping that it was one of those things that they just couldn't get a good enough deal for him. And it wasn't Lou just saying.
I don't think Brock wanted to go either.
Brock didn't want to go, but he was going to go because they couldn't get a, contract. But I know.
And he knew like his fate was pretty much sealed. You saw that with the last game on that post interview. I know Palmieri doesn't want to go.
Yeah,
Palmieri. I don't think really that many places are going to pick him up.
Palmieri?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
he's getting older. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for a quick, like how Nelson is older, but like Nelson still is playing at a high level. Palmieri's doing that too. If anybody needed this fast winger that can play on the power play, that's a guy, To me, he doesn't add as much value as Nelson does, but he adds a decent amount of value for a team that's trying to add a final piece. It just didn't happen. But Lou said that they're still in talks. So I don't know what the fuck that means. I would love for that to happen.
I'm talking about the summer. You said the summer.
Yeah, I don't want to lose these guys for nothing because I think he's in his contract year too. So when the summer comes around, he's just
Palmieri's in his contract. I think next year. So is JPG and Holstrom we just signed. Maybe somebody else. I think it's somebody else. But yeah, no, it's him and for sure Pajot.
So we got to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I know the team still wants to try to make a run, and I get it. Everybody wants to win the Stanley Cup.
I just want to overplay Sorokin, man. We fucking.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying too. So with Hogberg back, hopefully,
split it up.
Let's split it up a little bit. I think that'll be good. If we start not doing as well and we start kind of getting out of the race a little bit, we're falling behind. Then maybe just let Hogberg play a lot. And
yeah, because he had that back surgery too last year.
Yeah. Which is good to know that it hasn't really affected him this season. It was obviously successful.
He was playing, like 11 games straight? He was playing a lot, dude.
He's playing a lot. But he's playing well, so I like it.
Dude, he did great last night.
Yeah, he did really good.
Really good. I was surprised how much a fight those guys put in on us.
Yeah. No, I know. It was a shame, really, to see a team like that fucking pile on the shots. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like I said, thank God we scored because Georgiev just as soon as we started scoring, kind of got in his head and he just was like fucking. He couldn't stop a fucking nosebleed. It was awful. Not all the goals were bad, but like some of them were pretty fucking bad. And you could see the frustration in his face. That's the guy that used to be on the Rangers. And he used to do really well against us.
That's what I said. Man, those Ranger games were different, man.
Yeah, man, things happen.
Oh, dude, that shutout against the Rangers last week. That's what it was.
My God,
both those games are brutal.
How the fuck
we outplayed them the first one?
I know.
The first one we outplayed them. I think we had like 15 shots compared to like their 4.
You give up 9 fucking goals in 2 games against those guys. That's fucking inexcusable. That's horrible.
A lot of it was on Sorokin, man. He was out of net. He was blinding himself. We had to win one of those games. We're playing them again like in a week.
God.
Yeah.
Like, how do we go from that and then we beat the best team in the league?
We beat the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Dominate
How the fuck we do that?
Dominate them.
How the fuck we do that?
No
and then I'm like, we're playing San Jose and they have all those shots on us, and I'm like, we haven't got a shot yet. I'm like, this is what the fuck? Like, this is the worst team in the league. Like, don't tell me this. Like, your memes are gonna become real. You're like, oh, every time the Islanders play a significantly better opponent, like they just fucking turn it on. And I'm like, don't tell me you guys are gonna fall asleep against these motherfuckers. But thank God they finished.
That Jets game was nuts. Yeah. I don't know how it's shit like that, man. It's like. It's annoying, especially the first Rangers game, maybe it was like a week and a half ago. We were outplaying them so much, dude. And then once they scored 1 goal, and I knew it, I was watching it. I remember the last minute was in play of the first period. I'm like, they're going to score a goal here just because the period's almost over. They're going to get one dumb shot on that. It's going to go right in. And before you know, it's like 30 seconds left. They just do a random slap shot, and it just slails right through. It's a joke. It's like you can almost time it. Like they just crumble in certain parts. Like if there's a power play, they have to crumble. Like they just can't stop a power play. It's annoying, man. But it is what it is. But yeah, 9 goals, dude. 9 goals.
It's fucking.
It would have been nice to win one of those games. We used to own the Rangers. Like 2017 to like to 2021, 4 years, we would just dominate them. We beat them 10 times straight between those years. And now it's like, fuck. That stadium, God bless. That stadium series game being up 4-1. Freezing.
I still can't believe we lost that fucking game.
I took the train home. I was just getting destroyed the whole way home. I was like, this is crazy.
I still couldn't believe that shit.
Scotty Mayfield with fucking 3 or 4 penalty.
We couldn't clear the fucking zone. My God, we couldn't clear it. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It used to be that we would get the Rangers hangover. Like, it would be the next game after playing the Rangers. We just would be horrible because we let out everything on them. We would destroy them. And then the next game, we're like, we got no energy to do shit because we just beat the only team we give a fuck about.
I can't stand Rempe either. I saw he had a crazy – he had an elbow, I think it was, maybe last year.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, that. Like, what are you doing?
He's a dirty piece of shit, that guy.
Like, that wasn't even subtle. Like, you – fucking led with your own and just buried it on the guy's neck.
People were like, oh, it's because of his height. I'm like, fuck you. He doesn't need to do that. He obviously was trying to clip him. He's a fucking dirty bastard. He's a dirty fuck. He is. He's young, but he's a piece of shit. He's like a gigantic goon. That's what he is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see like what he really adds to that team. Too. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to resurrect Chara and have him beat the shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chara had that height. Chara was
I was gonna say I want Chara to come back and beat the fucking shit out of that kid. That kid has gotten his ass kicked by some smaller guys though. But it would be nice to see somebody like Chara like pick his ass up and beat the fuck out of him. Such a fucking tool bag. Sorry. Excuse my language, everybody. No, this is obviously not a PG podcast. Yeah. So I'm thinking the team is going to try to push, and we may or may not make playoffs. And it might be the same old song and dance, but at least Lou has pretty much made it apparent that he's retooling this team and that the team is going to look different come summer. He might not even be there come summer. Who knows? He might not even be there. He might be fucking gone.
I want Watt to stay, though, man. I really want Watt to stay.
Yeah, I like Watt, too.
Yeah.
I like Watt, too.
Because he's working with every moving part that's going on with this team.
Yeah.
You know, you lose your top guy, arguably, right? Nelson, and you come in, you have the team put up 4 goals with mismatched lines and whatever you're working with. I'm with him, man. I really like him. I really like his style of play. And he doesn't hold back, you know. He doesn't hold back. You ask him how he feels about play, he just tells you straight out. You know, but to Duclair, between Engvall, Duclair, and whoever it may be, he just lays it out.
Yeah.
You know?
He doesn't belittle him. He just says they haven't been doing enough.
Yeah, and that's stuff you just want to hear. He doesn't sugarcoat shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I like to see it.
I wish we, like playing the Ducks tonight. I was like, I wish we like target a guy like Zagreus. I know, like with his past injury, with his ACL and everything, but like I really like him. You know.
Yeah, it's hard too because he's another guy that's.
I always see him
playing
like
well.
on Instagram, like possible trade ideas. Man, I'm like,
these are all like buying moves. Like we don't have the pieces to give to them that they. I mean, people were talking about that for like Palmieri, but they're not the same trade value.
No.
So
it had to be a package deal, like what we had to do.
Yeah. So to me, like these are all like I kept saying the same thing. Like right at the trade deadline too. Like with an hour left, people were like saying, "No, I saw it on Twitter." People were like, "Oh, I'm hearing Dobson and picks for Peterson and something else," and I'm like, please. I'm like, it's just not happening. Like, there's no way.
I did hear Dobson too, like a while ago, like he was going to be up for it. Yeah, but just because he's not having, it's not common for a defenseman to have 70 points. No, right? It's not. So like for him to like not be there, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. I don't think it's like trade discussion. He's pretty good on the power play kill, on the penalty kill. I like him. I mean, and he's young too, man. He's young. I think he's only
an off season.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah, it's an off season, but it's nice to know that somebody like Romanov, who was his pairing partner for the whole time, that's continuing to carry. Yeah. So it's okay when something like that happens. If you're paired with somebody that's going to be able to carry the load for you when you're not at your best. But yeah,
I mean, the Canadians let him go, man. I just like.
It's things you don't know. I mean, he was young, and they were like, you probably didn't have a lot of time with him, and then you're like, all right, well. It worked out, man. It worked out. He's great. I love him. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, getting Peterson would have been a mistake because that would have been a gigantic contract, and we could have
been a lot of money.
It would have been a lot of money, and we would have been in the same boat. We would have just been like, all right, well, we got another strong center. He's going to play the top line. We got nobody to really play with him. The fuck are we doing here? Like,
yeah,
it would have just been like another move for us to push for the playoffs. Everything else, we still have problems everywhere. We just put new paint job, and we're hoping, all right, let's push. And then that would have been.
I'm satisfied.
I'm glad we didn't do that. Yeah.
Defensively, I'm satisfied. I like what we have set up with our pairings. I feel like it's a good even mesh.
Yeah.
It's not like last season where like everything was just like it was just fucked. You know what I mean? Like just having having Pellick out, having Pulock out, having Romy out. I'm pretty confident, with what we have. Goaltending wise, it's just like I said, just a little minor tweaks that we need with our lines,
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what he has planned in the summer. I don't really know what he has planned. Come signings and stuff, and who he wants to acquire. But he said there's going to be a big thing coming or big changes in the summer. So we'll see.
Yeah, he made it seem like youth was the priority, and I like that.
Yeah.
So. That's all well and good.
I just don't want to have Palmieri walk. Like that's the thing.
That's my thing because he can. So that's why I was hoping he was going to go. So I mean, with Lou not being able to get rid of him, either the deal wasn't good enough or they really are this close to re-signing. That's the way I'm thinking. But he's also fucked us before. But like with the way the Nelson trade went, I can't imagine him fucking this one up. You know what I mean? Like. You can't get two good trades in a row. Like you're like, wow, what the fuck's going on? So I'm hoping Palmieri is fine for like a short
JT, man. That one was the worst one.
I'm hoping this is like, all right, listen, you really want to stay fine, but like this is the best we can offer you. Take it or leave it. You don't want to leave, you don't want to uproot your family, that's fine. But like you could have this contract here, figure out what you want to do. Like I get it, you don't want to leave in the middle of the season. Okay. But this is one more year. Next season, either you're going to take less or you're going to go. So I don't know.
I think it would be smart to sign him for a 1-year contract, and then you have that possibility of just trading him mid-season.
Yeah.
Just
kind of make it apparent, like, all right, this is like we're buying you time. Like this is if you really want to stay here, fine. But then like this is like it gets the feelings get in the way. But the only reason I'm thinking that might have happened is just because maybe Lou didn't get what he really wanted for Palmieri. I don't know what he was expecting.
That could be.
But we definitely could have gotten a first-round pick for him. I think so.
You think he's going to call up guys next year?
Who we calling?
I don't know. You think this Ritchie guy?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to play.
And what about Yzerman? Or is he still too young? He's last year's draft pick. Well, oh yeah, last year's draft pick.
I think he can play.
I'm just curious. Maybe like that's what he was hinting at because he's like, come summer, there's gonna be a lot of changes.
He's 18.
Yeah, disregard.
He should be able to play next year. His birthday is August.
Is he college or is he in juniors?
He's in college.
College, yeah.
He plays for Boston.
Boston, that's what it was. I figured.
Yeah, I mean, he could play. Tavares played at 19. Just depends. Depends on what they want to do. I mean, if he could come into training camp and kill it, then he'll play. But if he comes to the training camp and shows promise, and they either send him back to college to finish out, or they let him go to the AHL.
Remember Josh Hosang? That was our big.
Fucking guy didn't show up on time. There's literally, it's like the millennial stereotype of a fucking player. He didn't show up on time. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man?
He's a rapper now.
Fuck him. Fucking douchebag. But yeah, so Calum, by the way, his first goal in the NHL was against us.
I saw that yesterday.
Little did he know that he was going to fucking show up and be.
That had to be the October. No,
that was early on in the season. I'll tell you right now.
Was it the October game?
Yeah, it was a 6-2 win.
That was. I think Nelson scored 2 goals that game.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's crazy. But talking about some recent players, guys have been playing really well. Pajot has 6 points in his last 7 games. Palms has 4 goals in the last 7. And pretty much everybody else is sitting around 3 points in the last 7 games. Noah Dobson, since he's come back, he's played 2 less, but he has 3 points in the last 5. So everyone seems to be producing right now. It's nice to see Scott Mayfield not in the lineup. I like that. Boquist has been playing really well.
Boquist is good, dude.
He makes smart moves. I like that. And he happens to score, which he doesn't do very often, but it was against Georgiev. Yeah, I think he scored his second goal already now, or maybe his
I think his first game in, he scored.
Yeah, his first goal. Yeah, for his first game. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
the lineup. What about the other guy, Brunovich?
He's sitting too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a scratch or if he is. I guess he is a scratch, right? Him and Mayfield are both scratches.
I just want to double check to make sure that what's his face is in net. I think it's Hogberg.
I mean, let me tell you right now.
Pretty sure.
Still no confirmation yet. It's a late game. It's 9, so we might see it before, like when they get onto the ice for warm-ups. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm checking some of the comments. We did not get any on StreamYard, but we did get some on Instagram.
Who?
It's your dad. Anthony, you look tired. Good show, guys. Got to sign off. No problem. Thank you for watching, Scotty.
Yeah. I'm just happy we got business done. I guess that's what it's come to in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, we would discuss this. This needed to happen. Reality needed to set in, and I'm glad that Lou is not like fucking sitting delusional and thinking.
Because I was confident they weren't going to do it. I was confident he was going to trade him and then sign him for some bullshit. I was so confident. I'm like, this guy is not going to be traded because it's in Lou's head now that he's going to be getting rid of like the piece that's been driving this team forward, and that's what I was kind of worried about, that he's just going to keep him.
Yeah, he was going to.
And you never want to give the player the final say,
Yeah,
because it's only going to benefit them.
Yeah,
as harsh as that may sound.
Listen, we have that experience firsthand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the JT one, that was crazy.
Seriously. So, and I don't want that with Palms. So,
no, especially Palms, man.
But it would be good. These are guys that have value, so it's nice to know that we got rid of one of them and got a big haul from it. Some people have been saying they didn't think it was enough. I thought it was plenty.
We got 3. People were complaining about the trade. They were like, "Why'd you get? Why did we get rid of it?" I'm like, because it has to It has to happen.
Eventually. Somebody's got to go. I mean, it's like sentimental value that people hang on to. Like, I know the guy's good. He's having a great season, but it's an individual player. Like,
you don't want to be the weirdo, whoulda, shoulda, we'da, coulda. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Then we're going to lose the guy for nothing. The weight of just
we got 3 draft picks, I think.
That's it. We got the prospect and then the 2. So it's like it's nice to know that we were able to get such a big haul for a player of his caliber.
I guess they're really digging in, man.
They are. Colorado really has to dig in.
They have the pieces too.
They had a slow start to the season too, but no, it's good to know that we're not just hanging on to this shit. We may do the same old song and dance like I've been talking about of making the playoffs and getting bounced in the first round,
right.
But at least Lou has already said this is going to happen now. We're retooling. Things are going to change. Reality is we're not the same team that we used to be. We're not going to be able to contend with this team. We need to make changes, try to get better, get younger.
No,
I love it. It's good to know. It's good to know that he's not a complete senile fuck. Like, he's actually able to make some of these decisions and make it happen, even if they're tough decisions.
They're definitely not easy. But, I mean, we have key guys that could easily bring a young, talented team into contention,
Yeah.
And we saw that, in 20 and 21. We saw that. So, and those, and that's like pieces like Barzy and pieces like Sorokin and, now we have Bo. Like, we haven't really done much with Bo in the postseason. I think we made it twice with him, and both times the first round exit. You kind of want to, while we have him, we should really try to capitalize on him. He's really good.
Yeah.
And whether Barzy comes back this season or not, I'm sure he's going to come back if we make playoffs. And if we don't make playoffs, we need to sit out the rest of the year and make sure he's good. But hopefully, hopefully this summer, I'm really curious what his plan is. I feel like this Islanders team has been the same for a long time now.
Yeah.
And now it's just starting now to change. Especially with defensively, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But there's a few new guys. Like seeing Gatcomb now on the consistent roster is cool. I like it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So
we got the Ducks tonight. Definitely a winnable game tonight.
Yeah. So definitely good that we're sellers instead of buyers, because we've been buyers every trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitters and we don't do shit. So it's good to know that we finally kind of made this decision of, all right, this is the reality of this team.
Yeah. I agree.
Making changes for the better, for the future. And big game tonight. Every game is big, especially when you're in the playoff.
There's not a whole lot left as well, like 20 games left.
Yeah, we're getting there. So it'll be the end before we know it. So
yeah, I agree.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was an episode of Sunny Days of the Racetrack. We love you. We love the New York Islanders, and we will talk to you soon.